Hi everyone, I hope y'all are having a great day. Now today's video is going to be a short video and I will just be focusing on one of our products, and that is going to be our Addiction Shadow Palette number 1. This is by far my absolute favorite palette that we carry, and I'm going to share why with you here in just a moment. Now, this particular palette, I feel that you're getting 4 items for the price of 1, so it's definitely a great investment, especially if you are on the fence about purchasing all kinds of products to complete a look. I feel that this particular palette here is the best way to start, and all our eyeshadows are highly pigmented, so you are definitely getting your money's worth in the palette. Now, let's talk about the beautiful colors in this palette. It is our warm shade palette, so you'll have some neutral colors to some light browns, and then it goes into a deeper or darker brown. So these are the colors that we'll be working with today. Stay tuned, continue watching the video, and then I'm going to go over those with you. I do hope you find this information beneficial. I would appreciate if you do like my video and share the video with anyone that might benefit from it. But let's go ahead and get started. So for our very first use of the palette is going to be for my eyebrows, and I'm gonna go in there with this color. It's called Frostbite, and it's just a deeper brown, a darker brown. And I'm gonna get this liner shade brush. Now what I like to do is I always like to spray it with my rose water right here. Just kind of spray. I already did it. If you don't have rose water or any kind of mist spray, you can just dab it in a little bit of water and it should do the same thing. So I'm just gonna go in there and grab a little bit of this, and I'm gonna kind of do it on both sides, and I'm gonna go ahead and start on my eyebrow. So I just usually follow the natural shape of my eyebrow and just start kind of doing it in small little strokes. I'm gonna grab more. But guys, these colors are highly pigmented. I've been using this palette for, I'm gonna say a little over a year now. And obviously I use some colors more than others, but this, they've certainly lasted a very long time. And so a little bit of this product goes a long way. Alright guys, so I'm going to go ahead and do my other eyebrows so they kind of match, and then we'll be back with step number 2. Alright, so we are moving on to the second use for this palette, and since I am specifically going over the use of this palette, I went ahead and applied my foundation and concealer. So I am going to use this color right here. It's called Chipper. It's the lighter brown. And I'm going to use this to contour. Now, I grabbed just this small brush, which is perfect because since I'm using the eyeshadow palette, this is a smaller little area to work with. So I'm using this brush. Now, so a couple things that the way I make sure that I'm putting the contour in the right places is you want to match it from the tip of your ear down, which is right underneath your cheekbone. Another guide, you can do this. I know it looks silly, but trust me, it helps, especially if you're starting out with the contour and you want to get it in the right places, right? So I'm going to go ahead and apply it. I'm going to bring that down a little. So if you can tell already, without any blending or anything, you can already tell that this part of my face, it already gives it a more slimming, slender look. So that's gonna be with for contouring. So I'm gonna grab this brush and use it along my nose too, as I definitely want to make that slimmer. Okay. And I'm gonna also take it down here. And then I definitely want to contour toward my forehead and make that look smaller. So I'm just gonna kind of go in there, rub that, grab a little bit more for the other side. And then I'm gonna go ahead and do this side too. And then you can do it on your chin. Okay, so that's another use for this palette, going in there with that lighter brown. Of course, depending on your skin tone, the depth that you want. I guess you can even use this, the Forthright, the color I use for my eyebrows. There's really no wrong color to use between those two. Sometimes I use both, sometimes I just use one. So yes guys, so let me go ahead and blend all this out, and then we will move on to the next step. Alright guys, so we are moving on to the third step with our palette, an eyeshadow palette. This is my favorite color right here. It's Elated, and I love using this color as a transition color. I feel that it goes with anything, whether you want to do a dark look or a light look. This color just sets that up for you. And I just grab a lot of it, honestly, and I just sweep it all over my eyelid, even to the top of my brow bone. Okay, so that's gonna be the third use for this palette, is just use it as eyeshadow. And let's move on to the fourth thing and my absolute favorite part of this palette. Okay, so we're gonna get ready to wrap this up with the last step. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this gorgeous color right here. This is called Brassy. This is my absolute favorite color to use as a highlighter. And especially if I am traveling and I know that I'm not going to, well, I don't want to carry everything or forget some items. I definitely always carry this palette with me because I know it has most of the things that I'm gonna need to do my makeup for the day. So I'm gonna go ahead and, before I apply the highlighter, I'm gonna go ahead and set my face now with our setting spray. And this, I always like to do this before I apply the highlighter, because I feel that when your face is nice and damp from the setting spray, it allows that highlighter to go on nice and smooth without you having to put too much. So let me do that real quick. And this stuff smells so good. I know it looks like I put a lot. I mean, I don't know what the rule is on how much setting spray to put on, but I like to put a lot of it on. So I'm gonna go ahead and just take this brush. I think it's a highlighter brush. Yes, it is, and it's from Wet n Wild. I just had this brush laying around, so I'm gonna use this, and I'm gonna go ahead and get some of the eyeshadow. Can't see if it's going on there. And I'm gonna go ahead and, so for the highlighter, my other little tip that I like to do is I like to just kind of put my two fingers like this, and this is where I'm gonna highlight. I don't want to go any lower, because as you go lower, our larger pores are right here. I don't know if anybody else has that problem, but I do. So let me go ahead and apply some of this highlighter. Sorry, the lighting. And you can see that. No highlighter, highlighter. So I'm gonna go ahead and just, let me do the other side real quick. Sorry about my phone. And then of course you can, you can highlight the areas that you want to highlight, right? I'm gonna just kind of show you the areas that I highlight. So I'm gonna do my Cupid's bow. And I don't like to do the tip of my nose. I don't know, that's just personal preference. So that's gonna be the highlight up here. And then the last part of the highlight, 1 second, I don't have that brush handy. Just grab any brush. Okay, so I'm gonna grab this small little brush here, and I'm gonna dampen that up a little bit. And then now I'm gonna go to the fun part of the highlight, and I'm gonna highlight the inner corners. You see what a difference that makes? And obviously put as little as much as you want, right? Some days you definitely want that highlight to pop and just kind of show from a distance. And sometimes you want something a little bit more subtle, but you do want a little bit of that highlight in there. That's how I wear it for an everyday. Like when I do wear makeup, I like to add a little bit of the highlight. So it's nothing too dramatic. I know maybe this light doesn't do it justice, but when I go outside and the sun hits, like you could really see it. So sometimes I even do just a little bit less than that because I just want a little bit of that highlight in there. All right, guys, so those are the ways to use this palette, and I hope you find this video beneficial. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave me a message and I'll get back to you soon. Bye, guys. Have a great day.